Hello walkers, and welcome to Mammoth Terraces in Yellowstone National Park. I should say welcome back. I did one a couple winters ago. Now it is May, mid to late May, about noon o'clock. You can tell by the number of people here. It is a busy place. This is on the north entrance to Yellowstone. I'm going to dodge and weave through people as best I can. My name is Henry, and I will be your proxy walker, your virtual travel guide today as we walk along the boardwalks and see what else we can see. This is, I believe, the Liberty Cap. It used to be a geyser or a hot spot, and it grew over the centuries to that. It's now defunct. And these terraces are ever shifting and adjusting. You can see the Liberty Cap there. And then you have Mammoth Village down below. I don't know if we're going to make it down there. I might do a separate walk there. We're going to come up here and just check out these travertine terraces here. You can see where there used to be a water coming down here, and it has shifted over as there's a lot of mineral content in this water. And let me just take a break real quick, excuse me, and ask you to subscribe and leave comments. I love your comments, and tell your friends and all that fun stuff, and let me know in the comments what you like, what you don't like, any mistakes I made, any things I missed, and any memories you might want to share with everybody. Look at the different colors. So one of the things about these thermal areas is that the colors reflect living creatures. So they're extremophiles that can survive these super hot temperatures. This is Devil's Thumb. And they vary in color with the temperature. So I think it's different species have different temperature zones and different colors. If you can see a trail there, that's the Beaver Pond Loop Trail, one end of it. And I'm going to do one or two walks up there at some point. This is referred to as Pallet Spring. And I just love the white and the white contrast with the colors. And you can see that got some steam coming off at the top there, clouds going over, and we're gonna double back a little bit. There's pictures from back in the day, 100 years ago or more, where people are out here walking on these things and even riding bicycles. Please don't do that anymore. Excuse me, pardon me. In fact, stay on the boardwalks wherever you are in a thermal area. It damages them to walk on them. It's illegal as heck. Ooh, there's a killdeer out there. And it's just, it does lasting damage to these things. Okay, I gotta check my audio from time to time. I've had the worst time with my audio system. I keep mucking it up. That's with an M. Today it is 61 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 degrees Celsius, and I think I said it's May. I think it's late May, and you can see some bison down there in the lawn, and it's about 12 o'clock noon. Last year, I just had a wonderful conversation with a woman that is working down here, working over in Madison, and she's up here on her day off in the Mammoth area. And she was telling me about how she went out the other day and she saw a bison being born. How amazing is that? Such a cool thing, and such a rare and unique thing to see. I've never seen it. I would love to see it. Anyway, that's why people come to Yellowstone, for these special memories that'll last them the rest of their lives. So the thermal areas, the water here comes out of the ground, and there's actually some more that comes down and ends up in the boiling river. However, because snow is melting and there's runoff and the water is way up, it's not safe to be in the boiling river right now, which is actually just a little section of the Gardner River. But during normal times, you can actually go soak there. There's some rules. You have to, you have to keep your clothes on, for one thing. There's no drinking and no food and drink in the no drinking alcohol. And you have to not litter and all the normal stuff. Also, no dogs or cats on the trails. Please leave them in a weather appropriate place. Last year, all year, the Boiling River was closed, I believe, due to COVID. And I'm not sure what they're going to do this year. We come down quite often to the park, since we're only an hour north of it. And often walk the boardwalks here through the terraces. We're at, I think it's about 6,500 feet, which is probably 2,000-ish meters. So that's 2,000 feet above where I live. So if I start to huff and puff as I climb, I apologize. Getting a little click here. Not sure why on my gimbal. I think I'm gonna go up this way. We're looking out into the sort of the valley of the Gardner River. That's out the direction towards Lamar Valley. Hi there. One of the things that's fun about Yellowstone are all the different languages you hear. It really is a global destination, the first national park. There's something wrong with the spring on this thing. I have to look at it later. Hopefully it's not affecting the smoothness of the video. I don't have a lot of knowledge about the geothermal stuff here. I do have a friend, a Shia, who I've been thinking about maybe getting her to show us around one of these areas. She has a guiding company and knows all this stuff. And she does some videos on this site called Hago, which is sort of a live stream tour site. It's pretty cool. She does stuff from Yellowstone, so check that out. But I was thinking maybe I'd ask her if she wanted to give us a tour, because she knows all the cool stuff about these thermal areas. Hey there. You can see, I mentioned how busy Yellowstone is this year and last year, and it's just not built for it. It's built for tourism from 20 years ago. So there's often a shortage of parking. You need to make your reservations a year in advance. All that fun stuff. The gateway communities are sometimes not quite built for 90 days of, tens of thousands of people. And so you might wait longer at restaurants and have a hard time finding a place to camp, that sort of thing. You can see the soil here is really sandy, gritty, broken down limestone. Not great for plants to grow on, but a few hardy ones manage to exist. It's really nice out today. It's actually pretty warm. Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks. This is Jupiter Spring, which is now currently not flowing. You can see some of these trees are long dead skeletal remains where they grew. Water shifted over them and they died. All right. You can see the village down there, the hotel, dining room, the grill, the gift shop. And off to the right behind that hill is the old Army barracks and Forest Service, and not Forest Service, but Park Service admin area. There's a visitor center in there that's quite good. Here's another defunct or currently inactive spring. I'm going to tell you the sign says Mound Terrace. You can see the beautiful oranges and greens. I wish they made, or maybe they do, a polarizing filter for these GoPros, because I'm wearing sunglasses and it's even more beautiful. This is Mound Terrace still. You can see the texture. That's not necessarily stone, that's a lot of growth there. Then you've got, I think even some white growth here. Orange, green. And you can see the awesome terraces. As they evaporate or they go over the edge, they deposit little bits of sediment that creates limestone, I think it is. Creates these little pools. And then things start to fill out. There's a tree that was overtaken. Look at these cool pools over here. Look how that one is empty, but all these others have liquid. Excuse me. Really interesting. Right. This is frustrating. It looks like they've closed the terraces to the upper section, or the boardwalk, because they're repairing or constructing it. Which, you know, I'm all for that, of course. But I was hoping to walk up there. I might have to do a break in our filming in order to make that happen. But we're going to go down here first and check this out. You can see some amazing views. We're looking north now into the Absarica Beartooth Wilderness Area. I think the wilderness area starts somewhere over those peaks right there. You have a little town of Jardine up that drainage, straight ahead right there. Little mining community. I don't know if I said, but the other Mammoth Terraces walk I did in winter, which is really kind of cool to be here. Super steamy and snowy and crisp. It's beautiful. This is Cleopatra Terrace. Getting a couple little raindrops here. Hopefully that'll hold off for a while. I think it might just be isolated. One of the things that people, especially from other countries, are surprised to find or to see are people wearing guns. I've seen two people just today that feel the need to wear sidearms, which in the United States is their constitutional right. And I think a few years ago they made it legal to carry them within the national park system. Before that it was illegal. And you're not allowed to discharge them. You're not allowed to hunt. So be aware. And while I don't mind people carrying guns, it makes me a little nervous in a crowded situation when I don't know a person's proficiency. But that's my thing. Doesn't seem to bother the people that are carrying them. So, because pretty much anybody can carry one. There's no permitting or anything. No requirements. But that's not my perambulation pontification for the day. I'm going to save that for a little bit later. That's where I sort of do try and make a little social good, spread some happiness and things that I appreciate, things that I think should be encouraged in the world. I'm liking this paved pathway here. And we're going to get a nice little overlook of some hot pools down here. So here's my pontification. Just came up with it. No inspiration needed. If you come to Yellowstone, and I hope you do, because it's amazing, try to not get caught up in the stress of travel. It's not a goal-oriented place. Try not to let the kids getting hungry and cranky ruin your day. Try not to let the traffic ruin your day. It's a beautiful place, and it's easy to get caught up in those little things, but be present and enjoy the beauty of what we have here. Oh, the smell is very sulfury here. It's interesting. It's not quite like rotten eggs, but it's definitely strong. Bring lots of water and eat lots of food when you're here. Keep yourself energized. That'll keep you from getting, hangry. Ooh, that's a cool, is it a bull snake?
I'm gonna take your word for it.
I think it's a bull snake or a gopher snake. It's not a venomous snake.
I don't think so.
If it doesn't have a diamond, it's...
Well, here, there's only one venomous snake in Montana, and it's the prairie rattler. And that doesn't have rattles, so. Very cool. Snake in the crevice. I couldn't get a good shot of it, but beautiful animal. Oh, some raindrops keep falling on my head. Excuse me. They've got it going. They're happy, having a good time. Hi there. That gentleman had a holster for bear spray. That's a good thing. You don't need it on the terraces, but if you're going to hike around trails, it's a good thing to have. The primary thing is to make enough noise that you don't surprise a bear. And stay away from cubs and dead carcasses, dead animals. Another recommendation I would suggest is some hiking sticks. I used to not like those, but they really are helpful for keeping your balance, and if you're not used to the altitude, it'll help you get up a hill or a set of stairs. Pretty handy, and they're not that expensive. I think Costco sells them. Most places that'll sell basic camping gear or outdoor gear will have them. Okay, so what's going to happen now is I'm going to take a break here. I'm going to drive up to the upper terraces and we're going to film up there as well. So do not go away. We're not even halfway through. So we'll see you in just a moment. And we are back. Now we're at the upper terraces, and there is a drive you can take. It's one way. Buses and trailers and RVs are prohibited. There's a parking lot as well, and a pit toilet up at the top if you need it. Alrighty. Saw a sign just there. I'm turn up my volume because it went down. Just saw a sign that said, for the courtesy of others, please silence your mobile device while enjoying Yellowstone. I think that's a great sign to put up as I talk away on our little walk here. Again, we are doing the upper terraces. We just did the lower terraces. And off to the left is the upper terrace loop, which is quite nice. And we are getting a little bit more raindrops. And we're just gonna wander around up here for a little bit. Seems to be getting warmer as the sun shines on us, which is nice. Hi there. I probably mentioned this in another video, but in the winter this is all covered in snow, and they groom the trail, they groom the snow on the road so that you can cross-country ski. It's a great little loop. I don't know, it's a mile or two. Absolutely beautiful in winter, and we do that. It's kind of our Christmas Eve tradition to come down here and do that loop, have a picnic in the hotel map room, and if possible, if it's open, we'll go soak in the boiling river. They also have an ice skating rink down there. Of course, not this time of year. That would be crazy. You can see the rain in the distance falling. I think the rain we're getting right now is actually from those clouds right there. We're going to make a right to go see a pretty cool, it's called Canary and Dryad Springs, and then we're going to backtrack up here in a moment. But first, we go down. I like that there are people out there so you can kind of get an idea of the scale. And it's interesting, not long ago this was lots of water out here. We are, of course, in a super volcano. And if you look it up online, you will learn with absolute certainty that it could blow up at any second. I'm joking, of course. It's gone off, I think, 3 times before, which is really not enough data points to create a schedule. And it happens I think it's the cycle that is in existence is 250,000 years or 300,000 years or something like that. It's quite long. And while we're reaching the end of one of those, the lower end of the range, there's no evidence to suggest that it's gonna blow at any minute. Although it could, I guess. But it's just another instance of all the misinformation out there designed to get clicks. Hi there.
Steady cam, I like that.
Thanks. This is Canary Spring coming up. Hi there.
Hi.
Look at those colors. I really like the way the steam in that far spring If you look through it, it's reflecting the light from the pool, at least with my polarized glasses, not so much without them. I'll see if I can bring that out in post, but it's really blue. Wonderful. There's a fairly stiff breeze, so I apologize for any wind noise. I'm getting sulfury again as we walk through the steam. It's not too bad though. Part of the experience. I see a lot of dead trees in here. Love the orange and white contrast. I think I said that earlier. Super cool. It's really nice to come out here in the morning as well before everybody else comes out. The light's low, temperatures are a little cooler, and you get more steam. Absolutely beautiful though. Alright, so that's the end of this little spur trail, and we're going to head back. Shame to see someone dropped a mask by accident, I'm sure. Saw a sign telling people not to cut across. Please stay on the boardwalks when you come to Yellowstone. Trying to remember when I hiked Trout Lake, which is also in Yellowstone, and we saw an otter. A couple otters actually. I think that was last summer. Love the twisted juniper trunks here.
I was making $1.25 an hour and 74.
Yeah. It's not comfy.
We saw that snake in the crevice earlier, and now I'm checking every crevice for snakes. It's pretty cool. Super cool. Coming up on Cupid Spring. There's the overlook. We'll go up there in a minute. Hi there. It's more of a seep. Look at the sweep, the way it kind of sweeps down to the right there and then disappears back into the limestone. Interesting. You can see probably seems to have in the past maybe gone that way. You can see the old layers crumbling under the weather. Cupid Spring. Hi there. Hi there. Now I see a gentleman with a dog on a leash, and there are certain trails and that sort of thing where you can have your animal, but they do have to be on a leash. So he's doing what he needs to do with his buddy. Dogs make me happy, as I've said. I'm pretty surprised at how dry it is up here in these on these terraces right now. You can see why you would not want to go off the boardwalk. This stuff's really thin in places and really hot. So if you break through, you're going to get hurt. A couple years ago, I think I said this, just stop saying that. A guy went out onto one of the terraces, not here, but over in Norris, I think. Broke through, died, and his entire corpse and bones and all were dissolved. They never recovered his body. Excuse me, sir. Sorry. Here we got a guy with a gun. There, just pausing to let people by. If you are driving in Yellowstone, please be considerate of people walking and other drivers. You can see there are pull-offs here, and legally on the road you need to be off past the white line on the roads. These are pull-outs for parking, so what they're meant for. Please use them. It can be really frustrating to be coming around a bend and all of a sudden someone's half in the road on a 45-mile-an-hour speed limit. Now obviously these are all parked off the road, but it reminded me. Look at that view. It's pretty nice. Looking down into old Fort Yellowstone. The original park rangers were the U.S. military.
They got out and said, "No way!"
there. I keep seeing the same folks. I think that's a couple that hired a guide. And I will say, I'm pretty cheap, and I'm not quick to hire guides because they're expensive. They're, you know, they have to get paid, they have to earn a living. I will say that every time we've hired a guide, almost every time, I think one possible exception, it has been totally worth every penny. You get so much more information, so much more insight, you get a lot of personal stories. You just learn so much, it makes everything so much more enjoyable to me that it's always worth it, even if it is expensive. And honestly, for a lot of these trips, once in a lifetime trips, twice in a lifetime trips, do you really want to not have that experience? Do you really want to, you know, spend that $100, $200 or more on your cable TV? This spring right here, right next to the thing. Now you can see some footprints in there where it looks like maybe a bison has walked through and broken through, and that's why they have all these warnings. Hopefully the bison wasn't injured too badly, but look at these different colors and these patterns. I can get up close here and really show you the detail. And that's that white stuff. I'm not even sure if that's growth. It might just be mineral, the way it's crystallized with the flow. Super, super cool. That's Prospect Terrace. And over here, I think, is a vent of some sort, maybe, or maybe just a place that collapsed. Look at this cool tree. Love it. Nature has so many amazing designs, for lack of a better word. Now, believe it or not, I left my bear spray in the car, and while it is highly unlikely for a bear to be in here, it's not impossible. We're not far from the Beaver Pond Loop, where I've seen black bears on multiple occasions. When we're skiing, this is a fun little hill to come zipping down. You can see the dandelions. Another travel tip: if you're flying into the area and hoping to rent a car, get on it now. There are few and far between. You can try Turo or Costco, but the major companies are hurting for cars. Some new Highland Terrace up here. Pardon my sniffles. It is dry, and I haven't drunk as much water as I should. These cool lichens on the rock, the orange and light green. See them here too. Got some sweet graffiti. Thanks, folks, for that. DR and LR. Defacing our communally owned property. AKA jerks. Looks like we're gonna get some stormy storms later. Oh, you can smell the forest, the trees and the needles on the ground. Sun hits them and they warm up, and the scent is wonderful. So relaxing. This gentleman on a hiking trail. I'm not sure which trail that is. There's a lot of great trails in the park. You don't have to have a bunch of backcountry experience or anything like that. And you don't have to go 20 miles. And if you get just a half mile off the boardwalk, off the main drag, you have the park almost to yourself. It's wonderful. I think this is Elephant Head or similar. I can't remember which one this is. There'll be a sign up here though, I think. Orange Spring Mound. And I think this is just a little spur trail, so I'm gonna go back onto the road. Beautiful colors. There, if you go up along that trail, I believe it'll take you past some hoodoos, which are these sort of columns, sandstone columns, I believe, and up into Swan Flats, and then you can see kind of a peak straight ahead. That's, I think it's Mount Washburn. Or is that Bunsen Peak? I get the two confused names-wise, not mountains. That little patch there looks like a buffalo wallow, a bison wallow. I'm not sure if it is or not. Oh, look at these wildflowers. Traveling Mel, my wife, would know exactly what those are. And I do not. If you know, leave me a comment in the comments, YouTube comments. Look at all of them. Wow, so vibrant and pretty. Wonderful. We'll keep an eye out for more flowers. At this altitude, which we gotta be pushing 7,000 feet now, they last a real long time. Pretty psyched about it. Pardon me. Sorry. Okay, over here is Bath Lake, which is dry. Another dry area. I don't know what this little cistern looking thing is. If you know, if anybody knows, hit me up in the comments. It's obviously very old. Looks, I was gonna guess, but I shouldn't. 50 to 100 years, I would say. Based on absolutely nothing other than it looks old. Oh, I'm getting a little audio feedback there. Got a bunch of wires crossing in my pocket. Let's see here. I'll just hold it out in my hand. Hopefully that'll work better. You guys are going to have a long walk today. I think we're already around 50 minutes or so, and we got a ways to go. Hopefully before the rain comes. I have every confidence that we can do that. this tree. Here's the white elephant. That's what I was thinking of. White elephant back terrace. Off to our left here. I'll show you in a second. It's kind of a little ridge. And look at this. Here's some little vents. Boil, boil, toil and trouble. Something, something, cauldron bubble. Isn't that fascinating? Geothermal power at its best. Well, maybe not its best, but interesting. I'm not sure that other people really walk this section of the road. It's more of a driving loop. It's kind of nice to have it to myself, the occasional car easing by. using a compression brake. Here's another perambulation pontification. You can tell I'm pretty passionate about this one. There should be a decibel limit for national parks. And if you have a Harley, I'm sorry, but Yellowstone, when you hear a Harley going by or a semi downshifting from 20 miles away, 10 miles away, you hear that? That's unnecessary. It's ridiculous and scares the animals. It ruins the peace of the natural area. You know, they put up a sign saying silence your mobile device, but they don't have noise cancellation or noise policies for vehicles. Or, you know, I don't know if they have anything for stereos, but if somebody were coming in here blasting their music, it would impact the rest of our experience and the natural aspect of these parks, right? Bears don't come near Harley Davidsons. Elk don't come near wolves and coyotes and foxes and all that stuff. They don't come near big loud diesel trucks revving their engines, coal rolling. So I don't think it would be too much to ask to have a limit on noise, a volume limit. And since we're at it, they ought to have more. Somebody ought to do something about that. I think we need more funding for law enforcement and more fines. More people need to have, there needs to be a cost for bad behavior. And a few years ago, we had a group of YouTubers come in here and they were flying drones and walking all over the terraces, not these terraces, all over the thermal areas, pretending like they didn't see the sign when it's in their video. And in that particular instance, they did face some consequences. They had to come back and go to federal court. And, you know, I don't think the fines weren't that big. I believe it was a few $1,000s. I could be wrong about that. Correct me in the comments if I am. But we had people that approach animals on camera, and we had a family. Here's some more graffiti. Had a family pick up a baby bison, put it in their car because it was abandoned. There should be fines for that. There should be fines for parking in the middle of the road. But this is a relentlessly positive channel, so I'm going to let that one go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Keep them nice and kind, please, respectful. I know we all have different opinions on these things. I know a lot of Harley owners personally that would probably disagree with my take on that. A lot of people with big diesel trucks that would disagree with my take on that. There's that compression brake again, going down the other side of Mammoth into the Gardner Valley. Oh, this is a peaceful, quiet little section of the road in here. This forest is, you hear the wind in the trees. I'm going to be quiet here in a second, but it's just so peaceful. apparently in Old Faithful complex, I think it is, or maybe it's Canyon, I think it might be Canyon actually. They are testing out autonomous shuttles to get people around. Here comes some rain. It's in the testing phase. They have an operator in the vehicle in case there needs to be an emergency override. But I think it's pretty cool that they're creating a shuttle system. It's very difficult to get around Yellowstone without a vehicle. It is a massive park, and you're not just going to walk from place to place. People very often underestimate how long it takes to drive from one point to another. So it's cool that they're at least doing that, getting people out of their cars and making it more accessible, at least that section, to people who may not be able to walk as far. Hopefully reduce some of the traffic in those areas. Well, this is the end of the loop, guys. I want to thank you for joining me on this walk around Mammoth Terraces, the lower loop we did earlier, and now this upper loop. Very fun, super cool. Hope you'll come back soon. Not sure where the next walk is going to be, but it's going to be awesome. So keep those comments coming, subscribe, tell your friends, turn this channel on at the gym in front of the treadmills, and mainly come back next time. And until then, keep on stepping.